In this course, we explore how humans judge machines using data collected in dozens of experiments. These experiments involve people's reactions to scenarios. These are short stories that can have a positive or negative moral outcome. Consider the following scenario. An excavator is digging up a site for a new building. Unbeknownst to the driver, the site contains a grave. The excavator does not notice the grave and digs through it. Later, human remains are found. About 200 people evaluated this scenario as the action of a human driver, and a similar number of people evaluated it as the action of an autonomous excavator. The reactions were recorded using several questions. Was the action harmful? Would you hire this driver for a similar position? Was the action intentional? Do you like the driver? How morally wrong or right was the driver's action? Do you agree that the driver should be promoted to a position with more responsibilities? Do you agree that the driver should be replaced with a robot or an algorithm? Do you agree that the driver should be replaced by another person? Do you think the driver is responsible for unearthing the grave? And if you were in a similar position, would you have done the same? We recruited subjects for these experiments using Amazon Mechanical Turk. This is an online crowdsourcing platform that has become a popular place to run social science experiments. In fact, various studies show that Mechanical Turk samples represent the US population similarly than samples obtained through commercial polling companies. To identify the moral dimensions associated with each scenario, we conducted a second data collection exercise. This time we asked people to associate words with each scenario. We provided a list of 20 words with 4 words per moral dimension. For instance, if people associate a scenario with the words discriminatory or unjust, this means that the scenario is related to fairness. If people associate a scenario with the words indecent and obscene, then that scenario touches on purity. This figure shows the moral dimensions associated with the excavator scenario. This scenario is associated strongly with purity. This is reasonable. Unearthing a dead body does not cause any harm, but it is considered as sacrilege by most cultures. Now that we understand the experimental procedure, let's see how people reacted to the excavator scenario when they believe it was the action of a machine or a human. Going forward, we will use figures like this one to compare the reactions obtained for each scenario. Dots show average values and error bars 99% confidence intervals. We use red to show data on humans judging machines and blue to show data on humans judging humans. Our results show that people rate the actions of the autonomous excavator as more harmful. People also evaluate the action of the machines as more morally wrong. Here, lower values in the morality scale mean less moral. People also report liking the human more and are less inclined to want to promote machines. But how large are these differences? Are they just fluctuations, or are they meaningful? We can compare these differences using both p-values and graphical methods. P-values tell us the probability that the two answers are the same. When that probability is low, 1 in 10,000 or 1 in a million, we can be quite sure that the two groups reacted differently. But p-values do not tell the full story. That's why we also include graphical methods throughout the book. In the next section, we will begin our exploration of people's reactions to human and machine actions by exploring a set of scenarios focused on emergency response during natural disasters.